Okay, fire this thing up here. Okay. I'm going to give this another minute and then get started here at 8:30. It's 8:29 on my watch, August 12th. It's a Tuesday evening. We've got several items to talk about. Primary one being this new interest in the Gulf, and we've got a decent meteor shower ahead of us tonight, so we'll be talking about that. I'll try to answer any and all questions I see come in. The only place I can really see them is on our Facebook live stream. I won't be able to see them if you're watching on YouTube or the 3 News Plus app, which you can download to your TV and watch for free. You can see all this content, the longer form stuff, the things that we don't get to do, in our 30-minute little window of time on the broadcasts every day. So we're going to be, diving into this, and it's an interesting forecast for us. I don't think we have anything overly hazardous coming our way, but we'll get into that. Just want to make sure people are logging in and we get our numbers up before we take off here and start talking about all of these things. So I'm Alan Holt. I work in Corpus Christi, Texas with the KIII TV ABC affiliate here. It's part of Tegna. It's a national media conglomerate, if you will. And, so all of this is going to be South Texas, Corpus Christi, the Coastal Bend centric. I know we're in the digital age now, so, people can be watching this from really anywhere, but that's going to be the lens in which I'm speaking through when we go through all of the things that we're about to go through. We'll start out, though, with the heat, because it's been hot, not terribly hot, not as hot as it can be, but today we did hit 100 degrees for the 5th time this year. The other 4 happened on August 1, 2, 3, 4, and then now another one on August 12th. The years listed on top of 2025 on this graphic, that's for the whole year, not just through today, August the 12th. So 2020, 2021, we didn't get to 100 at all. And that's not uncommon. There are years that we don't get there in Corpus Christi. The one that's uncommon was 2023. It was just insane that year. We hit 100 over 40 times, and the heat index was through the roof that year. Last year was hot also, but more of a heat index driven hot. And this year really has not been as bad as the previous 2 years. So, I don't know if we'll get there again. Probably we will see another 100-degree day, but I don't think we're going to get there to 2023 status. We're not going to get there. So 100 degrees today. We'll be up there the next couple of days as well, near 100. This is a live look now at our Lex cam. We're looking to the north. There's a little flare going on there in Ingleside. You can see it flaring up there. Some cirrus clouds up in the sky. When I say flare, it's some type of, there's I don't know who's doing it, but a refinery or something like that over, in Ingleside, sending that flame up there. Some cirrus clouds, but generally clear out. It's still 87. Feels like 97. It's 8:30 here on Tuesday evening. Winds are out of the southeast around 15 miles per hour. I always feel like a pilot when I'm talking about just like the weather nug here. The stuff we can all read on our phone, right? It's 87 degrees over in Corpus Christi. Winds out of the southeast, 17 miles per hour. Sometimes you can't even hear them when you're on the flight. But anyway, I digress. I did want to mention, though, that on this graphic and, the live look at the LexCam, skies are pretty clear, which is good news for the Perseid meteor shower, and that's going to be peaking tonight. So this meteor shower is from the debris left over from the comet Swift-Tuttle, and the Earth is just passing through that debris field. And as we get those little pieces of debris into our atmosphere, we see them as shooting stars. And this one is the Perseid meteor shower. So if you start looking up this info online, you'll see all kinds of different things about it, generally the same. But the one thing I've got issue with is that a lot of the, sources out there will say, oh, you can see 60, 70, 80 meteors in 1 hour's time. And that may be true, if you're in a high altitude observatory with one of these places that's meant to be looking up into space. Most of us aren't in a place like that. So we're not going to see that much of a frequency on the meteors or shooting stars. I'd say 10 is a reasonable number to expect over the course of an hour. And that's if you're in a place away from city lights, not a lot of light pollution, somewhere like the beach. And even that can be a bit tricky with light pollution. So the best time to look is now through twilight tomorrow morning, before we start seeing sunlight, before it actually comes up. The moon phase, not ideal on this one, waning gibbous, so it's still more than half full, meaning it's going to be, fairly bright in the sky, and that can cut down on some of the visibility with these meteors that are going to be coming through. And skies are going to be clear. My suggestion, get to a dark spot, whether that's in the brush country, just somewhere away from city lights, the beach. Look to the northern sky. You'll see a constellation. It's called Cassiopeia. It looks like a W in the sky. It's easy to spot. I love finding it. If you just look there, let your eyes adjust to the darkness. It takes some time, and then just kind of stare off into space. Let your eyes have that wide field of vision, and you're going to see some shooting stars. So that's how I would do it if I wasn't working tonight and I didn't have, a 15-month-old baby at home I got to get back to after the newscast. So the Perseid meteor shower, it's one of the best ones in my opinion. Because it's in the summer, sometimes it's before school starts. It happened this time where school did start already. But, if you have time or you're staying up late past your bedtime, it could be fun to go out and check this one out. So the Perseid meteor shower. Now to the tropics. I'm going to spend, a hefty amount of time on this here. And we've been talking about the area of interest that just got marked this evening. I was on vacation last week and came back, saw this tropical wave, started talking about it yesterday, so over 24 hours ago. And the Hurricane Center tonight started flagging this for a 20% chance of developing in the western Gulf. And, that's not a high probability. And all they're acknowledging is, hey, this thing could briefly spin up before moving in to either northern Mexico or South Texas. I don't think we're going to see anything significant out of the development of this. The Europeans giving a low signal for a tropical depression, which would mean there is a spin. There is some convection around that spin, but the winds are not up to tropical storm force, 39 miles per hour. And that's still 50-50 from the European model on whether or not that happens. So, you know, I don't think this is going to be a strong storm, anything like that. We will get to that, but I wanted to start with Erin, which is the storm that's going to grab all of the national attention over the next week plus. And Erin is out in the eastern Atlantic. It's a tropical storm. And you see that little cocoon of, you know, an absence of Saharan dust. Erin is ingesting dust, so it's removing dust immediately around it. And it's impeding some of the development as of right now. It's going to eventually get stronger, but it's not been able to do much over the last day or so. It's got winds sustained at 45, and it's moving west at around 20 miles per hour. So, you know, it's got a little bit of, you know, nocturnal development on it right now, which is typically what happens with these storms. And it's going to move west. It will strengthen and could be a hurricane by Friday, could be a major hurricane before the weekend is over. Current forecast brings it to a Category 3. That's a major hurricane, 115 mile per hour winds by Sunday midday or so. And the cone is pretty much north of the Caribbean Sea. So, you know, I don't, maybe Hispaniola has some to you know, those places on the northeastern Caribbean. They're on the southern fringe of the forecast cone. This is not going to be a threat to Texas, so we're not worried about this storm. I'm just talking about it because it's there, and why not? I've got all the time I want on this live stream. But the reason it won't be a threat to Texas has to do with a split of high pressure, so a weakness in the atmosphere in the western Atlantic, and that's what will begin that north turn. But the thing that's going to accelerate it and pull it more north is a trough of low pressure in eastern Canada. That feature, that little U shape where the blues are, Maine and into eastern Canada, that is going to act as a magnet for Erin, pulling it to the north. So it could get close to the east coast. It may stay well offshore. If you've got family, friends, interest on the east coast, you know, good idea to monitor the evolution of this thing. At minimum, there's going to be dangerous surf. At minimum, there will be dangerous surf into early next week. We're looking at Tuesday noontime of next week with the positioning of Erin and how the spaghetti plot positions this storm. One little thing, I'm just going to rant here for a second. And this is just me ranting. I see all the time people say the spaghetti models. And these are forecast models, and it's just, they're not like special models. It's just the straight up forecast models on a spaghetti plot of the forecast model. So it's semantics, but it, like, I think my right eye twitches every time I read spaghetti models on tropical systems. So spaghetti plot is the correct verbiage there. And, you know, maybe that's just me being a stickler for it, but spaghetti plot. And you see all of the models, there's fairly good congruency between them. The spread isn't huge, but it could be a little more west than what that is showing. So that's why it's not going to be a threat for the Gulf and specifically for interests in Texas. Erin. This now is the tropical wave that we have been talking about this week. We were on it yesterday, we were on it today, and then just after the 6 o'clock broadcast, the Hurricane Center went ahead and said, we're on board. 20% on the chance of development on this tropical wave that's in the far western Caribbean. It's going to move over the Yucatan Peninsula tomorrow and Thursday. Tomorrow, and then Thursday get back over the Western Gulf, and it'll only have Thursday and Friday to try and develop. So, it doesn't have a lot of time right now. It's got land interaction to fight in Central America. It's going to have land interaction over the Yucatan all day tomorrow, and then Thursday, Friday will be the only 2 days it has a chance to develop. I think I read the Hurricane Center thinking it's going to be moving at about 15 miles per hour to the northwest as it gets into the southwestern Gulf, Bay of Campeche area. So that feature, something to watch. I'm not necessarily worried about it here. This is now the upper level energy associated with it. And you'll see how it moves toward us. Northern Mexico looks to be the focal point for the upper level energy. That's all we're looking at here is upper level lift at 20,000 feet up in the atmosphere. This is not looking at anything at the surface. This is all up in the sky. And that position Friday afternoon, not the best for us in the coastal bend to catch rain. I'd want to see that into South Texas or the coastal bend. So that's not a guarantee it lands exactly right there. It could be a little more north, could be a little more south. So we're still resolving that, but that's not the optimum scenario for rain. However, that position is going to be favorable of sending in a slug of tropical moisture on Friday. And that alone should mean that the sea breeze is a little more active. So the sea breeze is just like a pseudo cold front that moves in from the Gulf as temperatures warm up, and sometimes it can trigger showers or thunderstorms when there's enough moisture present in the atmosphere. And this feature looks to put in more moisture. So at minimum, I think the sea breeze has more shower and thunderstorms on it. And that's with the system moving into northern Mexico on Friday afternoon. So, that's what we're looking at with respect to the upper level energy and the moisture field with it. Now we're going to switch over to our in-house modeling. I'm going to let this play out a little bit. This is Wednesday. This is now into Thursday. 5 in the afternoon, and you see Thursday, the system looks tropical. It's got some spin to it, and it'll be in the southwestern Gulf. Will it be a depression? Will it be a tropical storm? Will it be nothing? It's hard to say. The waters are plenty warm. It just doesn't have a ton of time to try and develop. So we'll see how that plays out. Only isolated showers for us here Thursday. And we'll be awaiting the arrival of this thing into Friday. So you see how that spins and then just moves in with what I would call, widely scattered showers or storms into Friday. So it does not look hazardous. I'm not worried about it becoming hazardous at this point. There's no data to support that. And it just looks like a little uptick in the chance for rain for us. That's how I've got it, 30% coverage. It could be a little higher. I'm very modest a lot of times when I'm looking at rain chances. I'm not a very aggressive forecaster when it comes to just rain and the coverage in general. But there is room for growth on this rainfall outlook. It might go up, especially if that upper level energy gets a little more north, closer to Texas, if not into Texas. And that's something that would definitely raise the rain chances here, but we're not there yet. So we'll show you how the next 2 days play out. Tomorrow morning, same as today, fair skies, mid to upper 70s, low 80s. As the day goes on, temperatures warm up. A few isolated sea breeze showers develop. They go away after sundown. Temps will be up upper 90s, triple digits for some, near 90 at the coast. And Thursday's the same type of vibe. We've got a warm, humid morning, fair skies, and as temperatures warm up, a chance for an isolated shower or storm on the sea breeze front Thursday. Then things change a little bit on Friday, with the rain chances going up thanks to that tropical disturbance we were just referencing. So you see a little drop in the temps Friday, Saturday. I don't know why that just happened. Bummer Olympics. I'm going to have to go back and get something really quick. It just went to a different section of the show. But enjoy this radar loop for a split second, and I'll be right back. I'm going to turn the mic off. Okay. I don't know why it went to a totally different part of my weather computer with the radar up there, but we're back. Okay. See if I can answer any questions. I'll leave the 7-day forecast up or go back to the system we were just talking about. This one right here. It's the tropical wave that got marked by the Hurricane Center tonight. Got a question. Alan, are you growing your hair out? The Peanut Gallery liked that one. And the Peanut Gallery is our staff at Channel 3. Yes, I am growing it out. Look at that flow. Look at the flow. Chris, are we going to do the thing? We're going to do it. Chris and I are going to do a high school football rankings show. Just unscripted, unedited, raw content. Big schools, small schools. I'm going to try to get that out next week. Are there any surprises this year? I haven't. He's not there yet. I'm not there yet. Not there. He's still stacking them up. So we're going to be doing that, I hope, next week before the season gets started. But yes, I am growing the flow. Go with the flow. Somewhat, I need to know about the meteor shower. Okay, we can go back to that. It's the Perseid meteor shower. Best advice, get away from the city lights. Let your eyes adjust. Look to the north. I like to find Cassiopeia. It's the W-looking constellation. And just try to get a wide field of view and just hang out, and you'll see some shooting stars tonight with this meteor shower. That was from Amanda Ainsworth. I'll hang out for a few more minutes and then I'll have to go back and start getting all the forecast graphics updated, but I try to answer as many questions as possible on these lives. It's just a really great way to address questions, real-time live. And sometimes if there's the same question over and over and over, it tells me I'm probably not addressing it correctly. So it helps me out as well. So I appreciate the questions coming in. it makes it more interactive both ways for me and for you. So let me see if I can get back to, yeah, that's the system that we're watching. You know, the gist of it is I don't think it develops into anything hazardous, and I think it gives us a chance for scattered hit and miss showers or storms into Friday, maybe even into early Saturday morning too. And that's the gist of this feature. Ha! Funny from Jennifer. Okay, 8:55 or 8:54, almost 55. You know, we're going to stay on this all week long. It's Tuesday. We've got Wednesday, got Thursday to forecast for it, and then it comes in Friday, leaves Saturday. And we'll see what we get, you know. There is some room for better rain chances. If this thing trends a little more north, I think we get significantly better odds of rain here on Friday. If it goes more south, doesn't look as great. So we've got some refining to do, some ironing out. But you know, the thing I want to get across is that I am not personally worried about this being strong, something that you've got to take action for. I'm not worried about anything like that. I know when we've got areas of interest like this near us, it can raise the worry. But right now, you know, this does not look like a concern from a danger standpoint. May increase the rip current risk and may give us some bigger wave action, you know, over the weekend. But as far as actionable items, I don't see this as doing that for the coastal bend. So we'll leave it there. Thank you for watching. If you did join on this Facebook Live, YouTube Live, yes, this from Chris, the clapping, the clapter. And we'll see you tonight at 10 o'clock if you're local. And if you're not local, you can watch us on 3 News Plus from anywhere. So we'll see you when we see you. Thank you.